Good day, everyone. How are you today? I hope you are safe and doing fine. By the way, I am Giselle B. Tagarang. So before we start our video lesson for today, let us know first the MELC and objectives. For most essential learning competency, describe the different types of plate boundaries. For specific learning objectives, A. Describe the different types of plate boundary, and B. Differentiate the three types of plate boundary. So let us start. As you can remember, there are two forms of crust, explaining how each plate boundary operates. We have oceanic crust and continental crust. As a result, each plate's edge might be either oceanic or continental. So let us talk the three types of plate boundaries, which are convergent boundary, divergent boundary, and transform fault boundary. So let us talk first the convergent boundary. So convergent boundary occurs when two plates come together. As you can see in the illustration, the plates are moving in the same direction or comes together. So the example of convergent boundary is the Pacific Ring of Fire. There are three types of convergent boundary: the oceanic continental convergence, oceanic convergence, and continental convergence. So let us talk first the continental convergence. So this occurs when oceanic crust is subducted under the continental crust. So as the oceanic and continental crust collide, when the denser oceanic crust collided with the continental crust, it subducts beneath it. The creation of trenches and volcanoes are resulted from the subduction of oceanic crust. Second, we have the oceanic convergence. So this occurs when two plates carrying ocean crust met. So as the two oceanic plates clash, causing the denser plate to sink beneath the lighter plate, forming dark, heavy basaltic volcanic islands, similar to how Philippines' Marianas Trench was formed by converging oceanic plates. And lastly, we have continental convergence. So this results when two continents collide. So as the two continental plates collide each other, since continental crust is less dense, the collision between two continental crusts, as a result, mountain ranges such as Himalayan mountains emerge. So let us proceed to the second type of plate boundary, the divergent plate boundary. So this occurs when two tectonic plates move away from each other. As you can see in the illustration, the plates are moving away or separating from one another. So the example of divergent boundary is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. So there are two types of divergent boundary: the oceanic divergence and continental divergence. So let us talk first the oceanic divergence. So this leads to the creation of mid-ocean ridges, as divergent boundaries are deconstructed boundaries because the rising of magma creates the new oceanic crust. So example of this is the mid-ocean ridge that stretches around the world. And second, we have the continental divergence. So this leads to the formation of Rift Valley. So as it leads to the formation of Rift Valley and will be later on become a new ocean basin. So example of this is the African Rift Valley and Red Sea, which was formed by the divergence of African plate and Arabian plate. So proceeding to the last type or the third type of plate boundary, the transform fault boundary. So this occurs when two plates sliding past each other. So this is horizontally passing from each other. So the example of transform fault boundary is the 1,200 km long San Andreas Fault. This is one of the most well-known landforms created by transform fault boundaries. So the difference between the three is that convergence, the plates are moving in the same direction. Diverging plate boundary, the plates are separating from one another. And lastly, the transform fault boundary, it slide horizontally past from one another. Since we are done on discussing the three types of plate boundaries, so I guess we have to move on in our activity. So our activity for today is namely find the boundaries. The seven major are African plate, Antarctic plate, Eurasian plate, Australian plate, North American plate, Pacific plate, and South American plate. Plates boundaries are formed between these plates. Can you identify them? So I have here the plate boundary map, and I will be giving you questions, directions. Use a separate sheet of paper for your answers. Write the correct word from the choices inside the parentheses to complete the sentence in each given item. So I will be giving you 2 minutes to answer these questions. Okay, your time starts now. Okay, time is up. So these are the answers of the 5 questions. So I hope everyone got a perfect score. So I guess that would be all. Thank you for lending an ear. Thank you and God bless.